Hey, what's up everybody? This is Decon12 coming at you with my first ever live patch notes walkthrough. Kind of like gonna read it off to you, give you my opinion on it, and see what I think of it. I kind of took a sneak peek at this one, so little gimmick I wanted to try to do is before each patch notes, I did want to kind of give you my opinions on what I think should be happening or what I think is going to be getting buffed or nerfed and things like that. Like I said, it probably won't be too good for this time because I kind of looked through it. Few things that I did expect to see. I expected something happening to Syndra. I expected something to happen to Lee Sin, Rengar. I expected Redemption to get nerfed. Contemplated maybe if Colossus would still get nerfed in a way. Something with the jungle, I kind of knew something was going to gravitate or something was going to change with that. Didn't quite expect it the way they did it. I just knew something had to be done because the jungle is just so strong right now. But so next time I'm going to go ahead and try to not cheat and just go ahead and get into it with you guys, give you my fair assessment. And by all means, remember at the end of this video, if you could, just drop some comments, likes, subscribes, any kind of advice you might have moving forward to make this a little bit spicier. I know it's going to be kind of boring. It's my first time doing it. And looking to spice it up. So by all means, all feedback is appreciated down below. So moving on into it, like I said, I looked over earlier, so I'm kind of just going to hit the points. They basically say, sorry for being away for a while, that this is going to be a bigger nerf patch than it is going to be a buff. Like a buff or balancing type of patch, just because they realize there's so many OPs right now. They talk about how they want to try to help the marksman, and somewhere's in here, so something along the line like this is just a little bit of catch up, a long break. This is going to be a multi-patch plan of action to tackle some of League's largest offenders, is what it says. So I'm expecting a lot more patches to be rolling out really quickly. So I'm going to try to fly through it, trying to make this short and sweet. Anivia, our flashes when it finished expanding, fixed a bug with our expansion time. Basically made Anivia a little bit easier to understand and read her R. That's what I'm getting out of it. No real changes to her. Camille, everyone expected this one. Everybody saw this one. I didn't mention it earlier, but everybody knew Camille was getting nerfed in some way. I don't think this was necessarily enough. Her health growth stat is down from 95 to 85. Pretty decent, but not overly strong. Her passive, adaptive defensives with the shield, which she gets when she attacks AP or AD champion, that got nerfed. Its scaling got nerfed. So the shield duration at first levels, or like, I don't know exactly what the levels are, 1.5. 2 to 2.5 got to a flat 1.5 throughout the entire game. I mean, that is definitely a help by all means, but I actually think they need to kind of reduce the shield mounts. I think that's kind of the problem with it, as well as the duration was. So I'd like to see him maybe put like a 10% hit on that next patch or something like that. We'll see. Her E, her hook shot, slightly increased radius when Camille excuse me, slightly increased radius where Camille will reveal herself if hook shotting near enemies while she's in the fog of war. So I guess you'll be able to see her a little bit better. It won't be as unnoticeable. I'm not really sure what that would look like, but if it's a little bit more easy to notice, kind of like the change to Zack's jump, maybe it'll be nice. And the Hextech Ultimatum knockaway speed was increased from 600 to 1000, and it's now not a full 1 second duration of a stun. It is just for the time it takes for the target to land again. So again, not the biggest deal. I still think she's going to be very strong. I'd love to see her in competitive play, and I'm pretty confident we will. Draven looked like he got some pretty good buffs. So ADC is by far my worst role out there, and I don't understand too much about a lot of their kits. It's something I'm trying to work on. But now his Q now has his Q now has base damage and scales off bonus, not total attack damage. W mana cost down at higher ranks. So it's definitely good for his late game, and I imagine for his Q that would be pretty good early game as well with base stats. So before it used to be 65% bonus attack damage, and I imagine early game you don't have a whole lot of AD, so I definitely think that's definitely a buff to his early game with the Q and a buff to his late game with his W, which is all around really good buffs. I would not be surprised with the current state, of ADCs, that Draven actually becomes a pretty high up there pick. I definitely would say top 5 with these buffs. I think he's pretty strong. In my opinion, I think he was the one that was most influenced by this patch. And then Kalista and Lucian might be the next two, but Kalista, her Ren keeps stacking walls on cooldown. And then it only requires 1 unit kill for its mana refund, like the older version before it got changed to the 2 was. So definitely a buff. Like I said, you keep stacking while Rend is on cooldown, and then now you only have to kill one minion to get the mana refunded. So definitely will help her laning phase a lot. Is it enough to put her back into, I'm not going to say meta, but playable. I think so. I don't think she's going to be top tier, but I definitely think she's going to be playable now. She's not completely disgusting as far as stats go and things like that. So now that she got a little bit of help with her laning phase, I definitely think you will start to see a little bit more of her. Not a whole bunch, just a little bit. Karma, nerf in a sense, definitely a nerf. Her mantra is all her mantras. Her mantra W is got changed from, it used to have 3 ticks to it, one at the 0 mark, one at the 1 mark, one at the 2 mark. And nowadays changed it to where the damage is only applied at the when it hits and then when it ends. So the damage is the exact same. I think that's overall a nerf to it because it gives people more time to get away to the second half of the damage, if you will. So you might just get the first initial part more times than not now. So definitely think it's a nerf. Definitely makes aiming it a little bit more important. And then the Mantra E Defiance bonus shield 30, 100, 170. It looks like it took looks like a hit into the later game. The earlier ranks, it is the exact same, which is actually pretty good for her laning phase, and it gets reduced into the later game. So I think it is much needed. I think this makes Karma perfectly balanced right here. Very fine tuning of them. Good job, Rito. Kennen, very interesting. Kennen's all damage now weighted towards the end and not the beginning. So Slicing Maelstrom, kind of hard to get into the maths, but it's kind of just like it says. The overall damage is definitely increased now. So at rank 1, it still does 300 total damage if you can land the full thing. At rank 2, it does about 20 more damage, not a whole lot. And then at rank 3, it does about 50 damage more. It's probably more so a nerf than a buff, but I do like it. It's more of a change because you have to land the ult for the duration of it, so people have time to get out of it even after the CC and things like that. Maybe they can flash away and escape the higher back end part of the damage. So it's going to be a little bit tougher to play around. I don't think it ultimately changes him. If you're playing Kennen before, you're still going to play him. I think he's an absolutely fantastic pick. And lower elos of play, you can get some amazing ults off some major flames. You can lose lane all game and then just land the perfect ult in the end, and then your team can win it. I still think that's still going to hold true for Kennen. I don't think much of him is going to change. Lee Sin was nerfed, as I definitely expected, but not nerfed where I thought he would be. So now his E-Tempest is some visual things. It no longer reveals invisible targets, and now only reveals targets damaged by Tempest. No longer reveals nearby allies of damaged targets. The Dragon's Rage is what was nerfed, and I'll explain why. So basically, they took off 50 at level 1, 50 damage at level 1, 100 damage at level 2, and 150 damage at level 3. The problem I had with this with Lee Sin was it's his early game that is the issue, not the late game. He's always struggled late game. I don't know why you would hurt his late game stacks like that. I would like to see, I agree with the 50 off the damage at level 1 of Dragon's Rage. I would like to see a little bit more damage, or maybe higher cooldown, or maybe, I'm not sure what you have to change, but you have to hit his early game stats, because that's where he's the biggest bully, and rightfully so, that's where he's supposed to be. I think maybe hitting his early rank 1 Q, I think would maybe kind of help that a little bit. If you played Lee Sin before, you're still going to play him, you're still going to snowball the game, you're still going to invade, you're still going to cheese, you're still going to be as aggressive as you can early. You didn't lose much. You play Lee Sin the exact same way, and you hope the game ends before you have to put your 3rd rank into level 8, or into your ult. So, it was a nerf, but I don't think it's too effective on him, honestly. And I think I might actually start trying to practice more. I kind of expect them to nerf him, so I haven't really been practicing him that much. But I think I am still going to practice him if this is what they anticipated for him. Lucian, passive damage up at early levels. Q damage scaling increased. Love it. I like it. I'm not a huge Lucian player because, like I said, I don't play a lot of ADC. But his passive was increased by 10% at early levels, and it changed from, instead of scaling over 4 different times, it now scales over 3 at levels 1, 7, and 13. So pretty huge. At level 13 is a pretty huge power spike, getting 60% total attack damage, percentage of total attack damage. And his Q, not the biggest buff, but it buffed nonetheless. Minor increase of damage across pretty much all levels except for level 1. Poppy, another one who was definitely going to get nerfed. Again, I don't think they nerfed necessarily the right things. It's definitely a start. Her passive with the shield was reduced from 5 seconds to 3 seconds, which I guess it makes it a little bit harder because you can't just like grab it really early into the fight and then run in and go. You kind of have to grab it mid-fight. So if you play Zac, it won't be an issue because it's kind of the same thing. But I would like to see them actually lower the health or the how much the shield is. I think that's a little bit too strong, especially with Courage of Colossus and her low cooldowns with her Q and her E. I would like to see them maybe lower her base stats possibly. I think that would kind of balance her out a little bit. She is way too broken right now. She is free low. Nobody can kill her. She does so much damage. She gets on the back line. Like and she's fun to play in my opinion as well. And then her Keeper's Verdict, the what they call it, snapcast damage, where you just pop, knock them in the air, was lowered by about, it looks like, pretty much half across the board. Yeah, pretty much half across the board, which you wasn't doing that to kill him. You was doing that to kind of CC him in place, hold him there for your team to collapse on, or maybe get a good wall slam with him. So, again, not the biggest deal. I do think it helps, though. Rise, the OP champion that I cannot seem to figure out. I love Rise. I love his kit. I completely agree. I can see where he's completely busted, but I just somehow cannot manage to pull it off with him. Now it looks like his overload shield is like 5 points higher at the early levels, and then scales at 60 plus 5 per level. So now you're getting 5 per level instead of 10 per level. So it's pretty good, I guess. Slightly stronger early game, like really early levels, so really early, like rank 1, 2, and 3. And then after that, it kind of drifts off to a max of 150 instead of 200. And the movement speed, early game was not hurt all that bad, but your late game, instead of 50% movement speed, so the last two was 45 and 50% movement speed, now it's at 37 and 40%. So your late game on Rise as far as movement speed goes, but your damage will still be there. Shyvana, her W no longer deals extra damage to monsters, definitely going to be a hurt to her. At least to her early game, which she struggled. I mean, I still imagine you're still going to power farm with Shyvana. You're not going to change your playstyle by any means with her, just because of 20% bonus damage to monsters. I don't like that. It's actually something I kind of wish they would add to a few other people. Like if Mumu, I'm pretty sure his doesn't, but like if his, I think it's his W, or the one that costs like all his mana. Like if they was to have something where it does 20% bonus damage to monsters, I feel like it would make junglers like that so much more viable. Curious to play it out, see how much it truly affects her. I don't think it's going to be the biggest deal, but definitely interesting. I think she's still going to be fine. I think Shyvana's still going to hold her place with the rework and everything. Syndra, nerfed again, not to the style. I'm seeing it in here. Not the style I would like to have seen it. No, excuse me. So her W now, her W damage and ratio are down. Her passive W bonus changed. Her R cooldown up at early ranks. So the W Force of Will, now once you have maxed it out, it deals 20% bonus true damage versus the damage of all 3 spears. So, didn't play a whole lot of Syndra. Sounds kind of busted to me, being able to get free true damage like that at late game. So, I don't really know my feelings on that yet. And then, the cooldown reduction on her, or the cooldown increase for the early levels of her R, I definitely think it was needed as well, but I also think it was needed late game, because that was one of the biggest problems to me with her, is that late game team fight, she could literally miss every single skill shot, press R on a carry, and they're dead. So I would actually like to see them kind of rework her R, make it maybe like an execute style, where they'll lower their health percentages, then, you know, the more damage it does type of thing, or that would also make it to where if you hit more of your combo, make it some kind of a skill shot, that would be nice, kind of like a Heimerdinger ult, like something like that would make it a little bit more enjoyable, or a little bit more balanced to me. You can't have that much damage loaded into a skill like that. 80-second cooldown, yeah, it's a bit long late game, but once you get CDR built into that, it's really not. So I would like to see him kind of hit that a little bit more, but hey, we shall see. Talon, one of my favorite champions in the game, especially with the rework. Q sustain up, mana regeneration per level up. So it looks like they're kind of trying to help his laning phase, which I haven't really had issues with myself. So his mana regeneration growth stat went from 0.5 to 0.75, so 25% increase there. The passive looks like it's got a little visual effect now, so you should be able to see how many stacks you're getting on his passive, 1 or 2 or 3. A little bit easier, can't wait to see what that looks like. And then his heal on kill went from 15 to 2 a level to 17 plus 3 per level. So that's pretty nice. Elemental Slux, they made it a little bit easier to see her skills now, thank God, 'cause I know how much we all hated seeing invisible laser snipers. ZZ Rot Portal, overall nerf is my assessment. Portal cooldown and duration reduced. Their Void spawn, health scaling down, and decay rate up. So they don't scale good as much health, and they die faster. That sucks. But their structure damage is up. So from what I'm getting from this, it doesn't really help you push lanes as much anymore because it's only up for 2 minutes, it looks like. And the cooldown is 2 minutes as well. But since it does more damage, structure damage was 5 per level, max at 90. It's 20 per level, max 360. So that's, I don't know. I think it just kind of changes your mindset. I'm not gonna say it's a nerf or a buff. You just have to change your playstyle. I think you need to put it close to the turns. You can't put it far back in lane and let it kind of just like push itself out. I think you get more benefit from pushing this closer to a turret, kind of like let it take that turret. So like, let's say y'all are sieging mid lane, somebody can go drop this ZZ roll to bot lane, and then maybe that can insta push in. I like it. I like it. Interesting. The living jungle, nothing too much to talk about here. The only thing I really want to put a note on is the Skyre's Bloom auto pinged on revealed champions have been toned down to distinguishable from player issue pings, which is so great because there were so many times where like I would hit it or somebody of my other teammates would hit it and they're pinging. I'm like, why do they want me to go for that? It's retarded. So that got fixed. And then now revealed wards now trigger a small auto ping. Very curious to see what this looks like, but absolutely fantastic for the people with horrible map awareness. I think it's gonna be great. Honey fruit, smaller radius, completely irrelevant. Blast cone doesn't trigger Malzahar and Rengar passive type of things. The jungle experience. This was okay. This is what I'm most interested with to see how this works. So it looks like every camp took a 10 XP dump, with the exception of the Raptors. The Crimson Raptor got a 5 XP increase, and the Mini Raptors got a 20 XP increase, which is very big, very, very big. Over double. It's got like 110% more XP in the small Raptors. To me, basically what they did was they took the experience and they shuffled it. They shuffled it around. I think it actually grants you more overall numerically wise, but they did add in that the Merkwolf, Raptor Krug, and Gromp camps grant 25% less experience on the first clear. So that is highly unfortunate. I can't wait to sit around and play around. I feel like there actually might still be some kind of cheese you can do with like Raptors into Wolf or Raptors. I'd have to play around with it, but stick around maybe for a later video. There might be some kind of 2-camp cheese you can pull off with this. So like do like blue, half your Raptors, red, and then be level 3 type of thing. I'm gonna fool around with it. I will keep you guys updated by all means. Twister tree line, not gonna read it. I'm not interested in it. Sorry guys. Client update. A few good things. They added bots in now. You can now play bots in custom games, which is actually beautiful. I like to use that to practice certain mechanics like Lee Sin and Azir, things like that. However, I still wish they would implement the practice tool they've been promising for so long now. It's gonna be like a sandbox type of thing with unlimited cooldowns, unlimited money, unlimited mana. You can lock in certain levels. Very interested to see how they do it. Very, very, very excited. Just don't know if we're ever gonna see it. They added some more settings, a new game mode, Ascension. They're keeping it rotating. Some stuff. Battle Boost can now be purchased in ARAMs. They added a low specs mode, which is for those people with not so great PCs. Notable fixes, bugs, treated if y'all want. The Q health update, I think this is kind of letting you know what they think of it at the time, their opinion, if it's like in a good position or a bad position. I'd have to wait to see how this plays out before I say it even is worthy of talking about. Bugs and yada yada yada. Upcoming skins and chromos if you're into that kind of thing. Dread Nova Gangplank slash art looks cool. Curious if we got any more animations of what his back things would look like. Warring Kingdoms Azir. Love the green on them. So none that I think I'll buy. Warring Kingdoms Vi. I like Neon Strike Vi too much. I don't see myself liking this one more. Warring Kingdoms Garen. So some generic skins. I don't overly care for them myself. If I play Gangplank, I think I would like that Dread Nova one though. And it looks like a chroma for the Firecracker Jinx. And last reminder, Snowdown crafting materials. January 16th. Get it done or lose it. So that's about it. That's about everything that was covered. Like I said, this is going to be a multi-patch platform coming out, so I'm not really sure how often you can anticipate the rest of them to come out and whatnot. So I was expecting to see a lot more here, to be honest, which is we haven't had one in about a month. So a little disappointed. I'd like to see him hit a few more players. Would love to see Redemption get nerfed. I think Redemption is way too strong right now. I don't know how I feel about them taking away the 25% decreased experience for the first clear. Kind of takes away from invading. I mean, I guess invading is always a good thing. You're still denying them, but definitely makes mid-game invading a little bit more important in a sense. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, it was my first one. I got a lot of room for improvement. I'm looking forward to doing it. Any comments, questions, concerns, please do go ahead and drop them below. I'll be sure to check it regularly. And if you want to come hang out with me sometime, I usually stream most weeknights, probably about 9 p.m. Central on until whenever I get off. Usually about midnight, maybe 1 o'clock. I can stay up later if I got a good little crowd brewing in my chat. So, thanks again for everybody hanging out. Remember to subscribe. Come follow me on Twitch. Link will be down below, and it is as well, at the bottom of the screen as well. So, thank you all very much, and good luck to everybody.